All right. Anyway, for those of you who joined in early, we just heard some great information that can help you have the courage to do more tomorrow than you did today. It was definitely some great information. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And to be really complete, we need to feed our bodies, minds, and spirits daily. Let's take some introductions. Welcome to David Richards. Hey, Don Chadwick, Francis Crary, G. Lee, welcome, welcome. Louis Kastner, Lyle Alexander, Melvin Robinson, welcome. Robert Duncan, Roosevelt Barnes, Sydney Arnold. We've got several people calling in by phone. Welcome, glad to have you here. Sydney Arnold. Um, anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to Better Deals and Money. Uh, Let me ask you a question. What can you do today that will make a difference in your tomorrow and the lives of those you love? In the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to introduce you to a vision, a plan, and a system that has the power to set you financially free. BDM grew out of a vision in which I saw every network marketing company in the world gathered together in one place as if time and space had bent to let me view them all at once. Then I saw myself sharing the BDM story with the world. At first, BDM grew slowly, but it soon kicked into momentum, and I watched as tens of thousands, perhaps even millions, began leaving those other companies to join BDM. I found myself standing on the rooftop, overlooking the entire network marketing landscape. BDM towered above them all, taller, broader, more expansive. I thought a dozen or more of the biggest companies could easily fit inside this one. Then I saw some companies crumble to dust. Others remained, but they were visibly wounded and shaken by the exodus of their members. The vision was undeniable. Something extraordinary was unfolding, and BDM was at the very center of it. During my many years in this industry, I've seen good people struggle. Dreams get shattered and broken, people with faith stuck in debt, stuck in jobs they hate, praying for breakthroughs but getting bills instead. So I built BDM, short for Better Deals and Money, a private member community where ordinary people help each other and where giving isn't a burden, it's a blessing that pays forward. We created 15 crowdfunding clubs, each focused on solving a real world problem. Gas, groceries, cars, travel, rent, even your dream home. So let me ask you, if you had $10, what would you do with it? I believe that would still buy a cup of coffee at Starbucks, maybe even a meal at a fast food restaurant. But what if $10 could put you on the track to impact your life significantly? The best financial advice that my father gave to me was this: when you earn $10, risk it to earn 20. Why? Because you know that you can always earn $10 again. So let me show you what you can do with $10 and how you can use it to help other people. And in return, that $10 can turn into $1,000, $10,000, even $100,000 or more just by helping one person if you follow a simple system. So imagine, how would it change your life if you could take $10 one time out of pocket and turn it into more than $1,000 for each person that you share this with? So we have 15 different stages or levels that you can progress through. You can start for as little as $10, help just one person with as little as $10, and it's like sowing a seed that can grow a large tree that will produce delicious fruit over and over again. The results can be simply amazing. And you don't have to stop with helping just one. Obviously, the more people that you help, the greater will be your own harvest. So let's look at a short video so you can see how this works. Okay, so we give you a lot of different tools, websites, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to skip down here. We're going to take a look at the Gas Club today. So here's a landing page that you can send out to people. It will have your own personalized link. And if they like what they see, they can click. We have several links where they can click to join. But let's just look at this short video here momentarily.
Never pay for gas again. Seriously? Let's face it, every trip to the pump feels like a hit to your wallet. But what if you could stop paying for gas altogether? Welcome to the BDM Gas Club, your ticket to free fuel, real savings, and zero stress at the pump. Here's how it works. Unique compensation plan that pays up to 20 times more than other compensation models. 20 times more? How is that possible? Think of the law of the harvest. When you sow, you get back more than you give, right? First, you sow a little money seed. The price of a couple gallons of gas. That helps another member fill up their tank. Then, share with a few others to start experiencing your own gas being paid for. Register for free. Unlock our exclusive crowdfunding platform and payment structure with a one-time payment of only $10. No monthly fees. Use our income calculator found on your member dashboard. You'll be amazed. Click the plus sign to instantly see how many you need to refer to reach your desired income goal. Refer 3 friends and you're in profit. Refer 4 and it will blow your mind. Referring 5 or more could change your lifestyle. After all, who doesn't know a few folks who would risk $10 for the chance to never pay for gasoline out of pocket again? Register. Share your referral link and watch how quickly your network grows. Join thousands who are already driving free and living better. Drive more, spend less, fuel up for free. Financial freedom is waiting for you on the inside. Click the link and join today.
Okay, so BDM is a simple donation platform that pays you 3 different ways from the same people in your organization. We're only going to talk about one of those ways today. But the last company that used a similar compensation plan to our 3, they produced $1-million earners in the first 12 months. That's pretty phenomenal. That doesn't happen very often. Let's take a look at let's go to the dashboard. Okay, so here is your member dashboard. When you join for free, you're going to get this beautiful, beautiful dashboard and website. And folks, this is not something you buy off the shelf. This is something we built from the ground up. And literally it would, it's like $1 million website. So when you first log in, you're going to see a notice here. We did have Stripe. We had one of these, self-proclaimed vigilantes out there who accused us of being a Ponzi scheme, which we're not, and he knows we're not. But some people enjoy hurting others, even if they have to bear false witness to do so. And that's okay, because I live by the principle that all things work for good to those who love the Lord, and better things will come from it. Anyway, we lost our Stripe account, and temporarily, our money is locked up with them as well. But hey, things happen. It's just life. We roll with the punches. So right now, what we're doing is we're giving people the opportunity to fund their accounts using Zelle, using Cash App, and when you log in, you can get all the details there. And then we also have peer-to-peer transfer, fund transfer, where if you have commissions in your wallet and you want to get those commissions out, guess what? You can help a friend. You can help somebody in your downline. They can send money to you via Zelle, via Cash App, via Venmo, PayPal, or just hand you cash. Many ways to, to transfer some money, and then you can immediately fund their BDM account where they can go in and then make their purchase. So we encourage, we did this with another organization and it worked. It just worked great. Um, and we did, once we got in the habit of doing that, we just kind of did that as often as we could. And it's a win-win because it helps somebody get started. It helps you get money out. It helps produce more commissions, which, it just creates more cash flow. Anyway, what I want to show you here is our income calculators. We have uh, we have three. We have a standard matrix, which is just a comparison of what a standard matrix works like, uh, and it's based on, this one is actually based on a $20 uh, being paid in, a $20 monthly, and as you can see, the income, that $20, they only pay out $8 of the $20, and it has to be divided by 16 levels. So you end up earning like 50 cents per person in your group. So it takes a lot of people. Let's say you wanted to earn $1,000, you'd have to have 2,000 people in your organization to do that. So we're going to show you a better way, and it's called Better Deals and Money. Let's go back here to we're going to look at our smaller clubs. We have a group of smaller clubs and we have some elite clubs, okay? So our clubs go all the way from $10 all the way up to $20,000. And I'm going to show you why this makes really, really great sense, because it gives you a way to scale up. You know, most organizations really don't give you a way to scale, except that you go out and bring in more people, right? But if those people are only making 50 cents a month per person and they only have a few people in their group, how long are they going to pay that monthly auto ship, so they can make a few pennies in return? Majority end up dropping out. About 97% statistically eventually quit. So we are turning the tables. We're creating a program, a compensation plan that pays easily 20 times more than most compensation plans. And that's only with the plan I'm showing you. That doesn't include the other two plans. So if you put all three together, we just literally blow out of the water anything, anything that could possibly, you know, be compared with our compensation. But let's take the $10. We talked about how can $10 actually make a difference. Instead of buying that cup of coffee, that hamburger, whatever, you take that $10 and you help somebody out. Well, number one, the person, somebody's going to get that, going to get $8 of that $10, one person. And that's actually going to help them, you know, $8 here in the Philippines, that's a day's wage or more for a lot of people. And that, that would make a big difference. It helps put groceries on the table, pay the rent, etc. I don't know how they do it, but somehow they seem to survive on those small wages. But, you know, what I'm saying is if if we were to divide that and give, several people 50 cents, that's kind of meaningless. But $8, you can actually do something with it. You could buy maybe, a few pounds of rice or beans or something, to help help a family survive. But what do you get in return? Okay, when you share this with others and they begin duplicating, and we created this calculator so you can actually get a visual. And what we would like you to do when you join is actually go log in and go to the calculator. And so you can kind of create your own game plan. How many people do you need to refer? How many people do you think your average downline is going to refer in order to, create the income that you need? Now, let me just say this. I've been in the industry a long time. I've made millions of dollars in the industry. I've rubbed shoulders with many millionaires in the industry. And every time I get a chance, to one-on-one with somebody who's made $1 million in the industry, I ask them, where did you start? And almost without exception, We needed an extra $300 a month to do this. We needed an extra $500 a month to do this. So the average most of the time fell between that $300 and $500 mark. It was just a little extra money to make, the ends of the month meet together, put a child through college, maybe repair a car or make a car payment or put a roof on their house or help with the house payment, put groceries on the table, these kind of things. They were goals that were actually attainable. And when people start out thinking, okay, yeah, I want $10,000 tomorrow, I want 100,000, I want a million, that's where people fail because those goals are totally unrealistic. So if we look at, we got $496. See, we're right in that range that made most people millionaires in this industry because they set a goal they could reach. They worked until they reached it, and then they saw that if they just increased their efforts, they could increase the amount of money they were receiving. And they just kept upping their goals until they made the $1,000,000. All right, so what would it take to earn $496? Okay, right here, we've set your person referrals at 4, and we have an average. We've set this at an average of 4. And we realize that not everybody's going to get 4. Some will get 1, 2, 3, 4. Some will get 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 or more. But so, and we have people that have referred over 100 people already. So taking an average of 4 is not unrealistic. And it really doesn't matter because I'm going to show you how we pay infinite levels deep. You might have some of your groups go down 100 levels deep. And so you don't have, everybody doesn't have to do 4, but that's what we chose. And this is saying that we've gone 5 levels deep. So how many people would we have in 5 levels? We would have 62 people. Okay, so how many people would we need in that other compensation plan to earn 496? We'd need roughly 1,000 people, right? 1,000 people versus 62. Big difference. And because these 62 people are likely, yeah, they've made money already. All 62 of these people probably are making money. They're going to stay with us. They're not going anywhere. And that's the big difference here is we've created a plan that doesn't result in that great attrition. Instead of losing 97% of the people, we're probably going to keep 97% of the people once they start making money. So this is very doable, and understanding that you only referred 4 at this time. Okay, and we're talking $10. I mean, you could probably go down with a cup in your hand and walk down the street, and and get a lot of $10 bills. People would just put it, to help you out if you went out as a beggar on the street. You could probably, and I have known people that have done that. They're professional beggars. They literally just go out on the street and they dress in shabby clothes, and they make enough money in a few days to to live for a month, and then they just sit around do nothing, and then when they run out of money they go do it again. So what I'm saying is people are they're generous by and large, and they'll help you out if they're able to. So how hard would it be for you to go out and find 4 people that would put in $10? I don't think it's really that difficult. Would you risk $10 to earn 20? That's what my father said. When you earn $10, risk it to earn 20. Why? Because you can always earn $10 again, right? So, but if you risk that and then you do earn the 20 and then you put in the 20 and earn more and more and more, that's how people become wealthy. But let's look, because you're not limited with getting just 4. Now see, we're almost at $1,000 right here with you just getting 6, everybody else just getting 4 and going through 5 levels. All right, so not a lot has changed. We're looking at 124 people now total, but again, you might get 10. You're almost at $2,000 right there. But like I said, we're going to have some people that go literally 100 levels deep. Now we're looking at just 10 levels. We're looking at $65,472. And this is actually, this is doable. Um, I've built teams as big as 3 million people. 8,000 people is nothing when you have duplication. Now, if you had to do that by yourself, yeah, that's a big chore. It's not going to happen anytime soon. But when you have a program that is so simple, people can get started for $10 and duplicate, then this becomes very, very possible or even probable. Now, again, not everybody's going to duplicate, but enough will that you will be able to produce these kind of incomes. So we talked about turning $10 into 1,000. We talked about turning $10 into 10,000. We're actually getting fairly close to what? 100,000. And is this going to happen overnight? No. What did we hear in the videos we just watched? Start small to get big. You start small to get big. Okay. But even if you started with 10, that's all you had was just $10. Then, I would say start with 10. But if you can start with a bigger number, um, I would say, get as many of the clubs as you can. Or you could even just say, here's the house club. Let's say you have $250. So you could start there. Now we're only talking 248 people here to earn $50,000. Simple deal. And why is it simple? Because everybody who starts at the gas club and makes any kind of money at all, they're going to ultimately get the grocery club. They're ultimately, I mean, can they afford 20, can they afford $50 out of 5,000? I think so. Can they afford 250 out of 15,000? Yes. And the reason I separate these is because these are annual income, okay? So whatever you earn in these clubs here will be reproduced on an annual basis, whereas these other clubs, the travel club and the discount club, are a monthly income, okay? So what is the cost of the discount club? It's $75, which includes $55 entry and $20 monthly, okay? So it's $20 a month. And the charity club also is $20 a month. So the same payout. The only difference is, see, we had people in South Africa and different parts of the world that couldn't take advantage of the discounts. They didn't travel, and they couldn't take advantage of the big box stores and places where they could get discounts, restaurants, et cetera, here in the United States. So they asked us to create this charity club because they wanted to do a monthly donation. And they said, we routinely help people anyway. It's just our nature. It's part of our culture. So for them, we created the charity club, and we have people here that are joining the charity club as well, because half of this money is going to feed hungry children, orphans that would normally go to bed hungry without our help. So we've been helping orphans for past 11 years, routinely donating to them as much as we could, and we've fed a lot of meals to a lot of orphans, and we will continue to do that and just expand as we're able to. So our discount and travel club, they give you up to 70% discounts on hotels and cruises and a lot of different, vacation stuff. Discounts on movies and theaters and sports arenas and restaurants, shopping, big box, name brands, name brand stores, all of these things. For example, save 15% when you get your oil changed. Everybody has to get their oil changed, right? So if you're taking advantage of these discounts, you're obviously going to save way more than what it costs to be involved in these clubs. And then whatever you get in return is just gravy on top of that. But let's very briefly, I don't want to spend a lot of time, but let's look at uh, let's look at our elite clubs. Because again, when you're earning the kind of money that you will be earning in these other clubs, and I promise you folks, we're going to produce incomes like you have never seen before, like this industry has never seen before. We're going to produce incomes that will just literally have people, beating down our door to get involved. So here's our elite club. This is with just referring for, yeah, let's take this to, there's a $500,000, and what does it take? It takes 1,000 people in this club to earn, 408,000. That's with you only referring for. But let's say you want to refer more. And here's the thing, folks. If you're referring 10 people in the gas club, eventually they're going to step up to the grocery club, all the different clubs. We will have people in all of the clubs eventually. People that really stick with this and build it will ultimately end up in every single one of the clubs. And so if you want to talk about some real serious income, look at that $65 million. We've created the first program that could potentially make a person a billionaire if they wanted to really go out there and refer a lot of people. Okay, there's 25, that's 188 million. Do you see the potential? And you have to catch the vision, folks. Without vision, people perish. And that's what this is all about. If you can see the vision of how $10 can eventually turn into $500, $1,000, that's all you need to see. If you can see that vision, I'm going the wrong way. Even $100, a lot of people have never earned $100 in this industry. But there we have $620 with only 62 people. We're looking at the discount club. Gas club, $496. See, these are the kind of numbers you need to set a goal, because if you don't start small, if you don't set a small goal, you will never reach the big goals. It's a fact. You will never, if you start out saying, "Oh, I'm going to earn $10,000," you're probably never going to get there unless you've been there before. If you have earned $10,000 in a program before, then you can see it, okay? When you can see something, when you have the vision, when you can believe it, you will achieve it. So, I can tell you from my own experience, many years ago, I got involved with a discount club. It was the first discount club I had ever heard of, and it didn't have a whole lot of items you could get. It was mostly big items like refrigerators and appliances and TVs, bigger items, cost hundreds of dollars. And I think there was even one place, if you wanted to travel to a particular dealership in the country, where you could get a pretty sizable discount on buying a new car. And people joined that like crazy. And the reason they joined is because of the compensation plan. It was a plan very, very similar to this one right here. Ours is better, but it was good. And in 90 days, several of us were able to create $100,000 monthly income. And so it worked just like this, okay? Because of the duplication and people inviting people to the conference calls, and we didn't have webinars back then. This was back in the days of phones and fax machines. There were no cell phones, no internet, none of the great tools, excuse me, that we have today. It was either belly to belly or pick up the phone and call somebody, invite them to a conference call. But it works. That personal contact will always work better than anything. when you pick up the phone and call somebody, say, hey, I've got a webinar starting in 10 minutes. I need you to be there. You will love what you hear. It's only going to last 10 or 15 minutes, so be there. Well, what's it all about? I don't have time to talk to you. I've got other people I've got to call. See you there. You send them the link, and a lot of times they're going to join. And the beautiful thing of inviting people immediately before the call is, they know right then if they're busy or not. If you invite somebody, a week ahead of time, a day ahead of time, they may not know what their schedule is. Something may come up, an emergency, or they get sidetracked and forget. But if you call somebody right before the call, they know right then if they're going to be available or not. And if they're available and you have the right kind of energy when you call, then they will show up. And if they show up 9 times out of 10, they're going to join in with you. So let's go ahead and open up for questions and answers. I know that some of you are new, some of you probably have some questions, and this is a great time when we can all learn from each other, because if you have a question, somebody else probably has that question too. We've got one hand up right now. I'm going to allow. Okay, passive pathway. You can unmute.
Yes, John. Great evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, I want to thank you again, as usual, for your great presentation. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My question, I actually asked this in the Telegram group today, but I was just looking at it and I think I got it, but let me make sure. All right, as it relates to the level, like there it is, level 1, level 2, level 3. That functions of the concept where 2 goes up to the inviter, 2 and 4.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, just want to confirm because I was having a challenge trying to do the calculation. How does that really work? But then as you were speaking, I was going through it. Also, when it relates to the 1x3 and the 2x2, does that applies to these clubs as well?
They're they work a little bit differently. And next week, I plan on highlighting and getting into that. Got some exciting stuff to show you because we're in the process of creating a new calculator. We've figured out how to do how to do a calculator. It's a bit of a challenge on some of these things, the algorithms and math and whatnot, but we're going to show you some exciting stuff next week on that. So I would just momentarily let's hold off on answering that question because I think I can do a much better job next week.
Okay then, John. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for asking. All right. You can unmute if you like, or you can put up a hand, but I've set it so everybody can unmute. If you have a question, feel free to do so. I know we've got some questions. We had a really great Q&A last Tuesday. In fact, we went over the hour. We had a lot of great questions, and we learned a lot, and things too that sometimes you'll ask a question, we'll go take a look, and I'll find out we've got something in the system that needs to be corrected, some text or what have you. So this can be helpful, to me as well as you have questions. So I guess we did a great job. That's awesome. Anyway,
hello, I have a question.
Okay, there we go. We got another question.
Okay, how you doing? I'm Sydney. I'm from Pennsylvania.
Hi, Sydney. Glad to meet you.
Thank you. Okay, I want to do maybe like 3 or 4 clubs at one time. Could I do that with Cash App since you don't have the Stripe
Yes,
thing right now?
you can do that. Uh-huh.
Okay, so where how would I do that? Where would I send
Okay,
what
when you
Cash
when
App
you
address would I send the cash
when you
the
log
money
in,
to?
uh, okay, when you first log in to the dashboard, you'll have a message right here.
Mm-hmm.
Message will pop up, and the all of the information is right there. You'll have the Cash App information. You'll also see my email. When you send the Cash App, uh, yeah, if you would follow up with an email, I do get an email from Cash App, but if you'll follow up with an email, that's great. And then I make sure that I know exactly who sent the money and where it needs to go, and I can quickly get your account funded.
Okay, so would I put my username and then I would tell you the different accounts I want funded?
Yeah, yeah. If you want, I can go ahead and if you want me to purchase the particular ones, just tell me, okay, like I'm sending $80. Would you please do the gas, the grocery, and the car
Yeah, like that.
like
Oh,
that?
okay.
And then I'll go ahead and just take care of it because I'll be right in your account when I fund it anyway, and I can immediately just boom, 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 click those buttons and make those purchases for you.
Okay. One more question. Thanks for that information. I'll definitely do that. Let's say I wanted to send some extra money because I know I'm gonna bring some people in that they let's say they're close to me. They could give me the money, but I can.
Yeah,
So could I send extra
good
money
idea.
so I could fund theirs?
Yeah, yeah. If you want to send extra, you just make just send me a note. Say, okay, you want to say, let's say you want to say, and whatever, 150,
Yeah.
and then you just tell me, okay, I want to purchase these clubs for myself, and just you know fund leave the other because what I'll do is I'll just whatever amount you send will go into your wallet. And then when I purchase the clubs, that will automatically deduct the amount for each one. And then whatever's left over will just remain in your wallet. So you really don't even
Oh.
have to be specific, but if you want to send extra money, that's a great idea. Get some people funded quickly.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because, I mean, the prices is so easy, the clubs is so reasonable that I know when people really start seeing this that most people probably gonna do 2 or 3, like myself, probably do about 3 or 4 clubs at one time.
Right.
Can I ask just one more question?
Sure. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to understand how the other two um um comp plans work with the first one. Now, like the 2 up, that's what I'm understanding. So how do the 1 time 3 and the 2 time 2? How do that work?
What I'm going to do next week is I will actually be doing a deeper dive and getting into that. And
Uh-huh.
so yeah, I'll do a much better job of explaining that if you give me until next week.
Oh, okay, no problem.
And no rush. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah,
we'll take a deep dive into that so you'll have a better understanding.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's good because I mean, I definitely want to start with the 2 up anyway.
Yeah,
So I'm definitely good with that. Okay, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
you're absolutely welcome. Thank you for asking. That's always helpful because I know there's other people that have the same questions, and some of us are just a little timid about, raising our hand and asking the questions. But don't be shy, folks. If you have a question, please ask because, the only stupid question is one that isn't asked, and more often than not, somebody else has that same question. So thank you, Sydney. Appreciate that.
Sure, no problem. Well, be expecting to see a email from me because I'm definitely
Okay,
going
I'll
to
definitely be looking for it.
yeah, definitely gonna send some money in. All right,
Okay.
thanks.
All right. We have another question here. Passive pathway. Go ahead.
Yes, John, me again. seeing that you said that you will explain the 1x3 and the 2x2 next week,
Uh-huh.
persons signed up, like, say for example tomorrow, will the 1x3 and the 2x2 be in effect?
Why don't you wait? Why don't you wait until next week, if you will?
Okay, no
So you
problem.
can, yeah, so you can just have a better understanding.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that way you'll know exactly, what you're doing, and I prefer to have people, not do something blind. Not that there's anything, mistakes or anything like that, but uh, yeah, once we get into it next week, then you'll understand exactly, what it is and how it works and all of that.
Okay, makes sense.
Okie
Thank
doke.
you.
All right. Well, thanks for asking. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining with us tonight. Let me just say, what you've seen tonight is simple, it's powerful, it's real. BDM isn't just a platform, it's a movement where ordinary people sharing with just starting with just a few dollars or stepping into extraordinary results. Now, you don't have to wait. You don't need thousands of dollars. You don't need a resume, an interview. And at these entry levels, you don't even need permission. You just need to start $10, $20, $50, whatever level speaks to you. You start there, plant your seed, share the vision, and watch what happens. Because the truth is, BDM is changing lives not someday, but right now. So take the first step tonight, join the club, share it boldly, and let this be the moment your new future begins. I will be sending out this replay shortly, so watch your email. Thank you for being here. Welcome to BDM. God bless and have a great evening.
Thank you, Joe.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.